Well, now we are in the second week, day 10 to be exact, of the attacks taking place in Israel. And the son of Iran, and the son of Iran's former and slain supreme leader, Mojtaba Hamani, is now the country's new leader. And President Trump has recently said that he did not want him to be in power. And joining me now is Washington Stand reporter Casey Harper. Casey, hope you had a good weekend.
Thanks, Jody. You too.
Listen, before we get into this, I do want to jump into what's happening in Iran, but thank you personally for filling in for me this past Friday. I typically host the Friday shows and was unable to this past week, and you, my friend, did an outstanding job. Thank you for filling in. I appreciate it.
Oh, praise the Lord. Thank you, Jody. It was an honor to fill in. It's harder than it looks. You make it look easy, but it's not.
Oh, well, you do a great job. All right, so we've got a new leader in Iran. Walk us through the latest, what you're hearing.
Yeah, this is a big development and not really a good one for the United States or Israel. 56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei is the son of the deceased Ayatollah that Israel and the U.S. took out not too long ago. And now he is the Islamic Republic's third supreme leader. He has close connections to the Revolutionary Guard. He's a hardliner. Now, because of that, he's been declared unacceptable by President Trump. And you may remember, Jody, President Trump publicly said he wanted to have a say in who the next Iranian leader would be. Now, Israel said they're going to start targeting this new Ayatollah, so we'll see how long he lasts. But the president said it's a big mistake to appoint him. Meanwhile, U.S. and Israel continue their strikes on Iran. In fact, we have a clip here of Secretary of State Marco Rubio talking about the president's objectives in the mission.
The goals of this mission are clear, and it's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation. It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their Navy.
Now, of course, as you know, Jody, a 7th U.S. service member was tragically killed in the fighting.
It's quite interesting what's going on there. We'll see what unfolds with this new leadership there. Casey, if I can turn with you to a little bit more domestic news, but not too far distantly related so far as terrorism is concerned. In the fight there, we had an explosion over the weekend outside the residence of New York City's mayor. And the investigation is indicating that it may be ISIS related. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, all reports indicate a ISIS-inspired Islamic terror attack in a city that is all too familiar with them. So some of the details here, we have 2 men who threw this homemade bomb at really a protest and counter-protest outside Mayor Mamdani's mansion in Manhattan. Those men have been charged with terrorism, as you indicated. Now, the explosive devices were ignited during the protest. Now, the first protest was protesting what they called an Islamic takeover of New York City. And then that drew a much larger counter-protest, which led to this face-off. And we have a clip here of Mayor Mamdani talking about the incident earlier today.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled "Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City." While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred.
Now, one of the men charged reportedly said he wanted to launch an attack that did more damage and was more deadly than the Boston Marathon bombing. Jody, thankfully, the explosive devices did not go off, so his plan did not come to fruition.
All right, Casey, thank you so much for this report.